Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also get me on my Facebook page, True Divine 44, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, comments are greatly appreciated, and much love to everybody who does that thus far. I appreciate you all. Mwah. So this is just a quick writing on the wall about perceptions and how perceptions are being created. I had a discussion yesterday with my mother regarding the shopping. Her and my daughter Abby had gone to one shop and realized that the queue, and it was a slightly bigger shop, so realized the queue was ridiculous, just ridiculous. It would have taken them longer to wait to get into the store with these new rules, for the lethal, what you would call it, germ that is apparently going around. So, the same store didn't have the same rules just a couple of days ago, because things had been lifted for a little while, but bang, we're back to, these rules that do not make any sense, but let's not go into that. Anyway, those rules were causing huge delays, huge queues to just get in, let alone do the shopping and then pay for your goods. So they decided to go to a smaller store, literally just around the corner, but not a small store in that you can't get everything there that you would have gotten in the previous one, just slightly smaller. And they got straight in. It was just calm. There was people there, but it wasn't full. It wasn't packed. People certainly weren't panic buying. They certainly weren't filling up their trolley. And that was in a space of less than half a mile. The difference in the perception of the people in the first store, who, because of the build-up of even getting into there, the anxiety of waiting in the queue, of making sure you're staying 6 feet apart and, having a mask on and things like that, that whole build-up built up for them that once they were in the store, they were going to buy as much as they could buy. And so it built up this anticipation, this anxiety, building a perception upon the lie that, this is something to be fearful of. This is something to be afraid of. This is something to prepare for. Less than half a mile away, because things were just normal, relaxed. The people were just buying what they needed to buy, being very friendly and leaving. And so because there wasn't that build up in the queue to even get in the store that would build up that anxiety and that need and want to prepare. So just within half a mile, or less than half a mile, the perception can be very, very different. And so we see that people who are just going to the same stores, keeping the same routine, trying to maintain the same routine that they always have done, depending on which store they go to, even within just half a mile or less, is going to build up a real perception completely different to the people who are going to other stores maybe and seeing a mix of energies in certain stores, in certain places. There's going to be the first category of people who are wanting to go out and do the toilet roll thing and buy all of the toilet rolls that they can while they're there, because that perception has been planted into their mind that is the energy that we are in. That is the requirement of them right now to survive. And so we see that also on social media. And this isn't to go too deep on it, it's just to make a quick note on it for anybody that maybe has not had the wider variety of stores, or doesn't have the wider variety of things that they listen to or watch or write on social media. If you are on social media and you haven't had a wider variety of people from all different walks of life and aren't able to take in all of those different opinions and perceptions, then you're going to be in the category of people in the first store, where if you are around people who are anxious, who are buying into the fear magic that is being put out there from the powers that be, then you are going to build on that, and you're actually going to start to attack people outside of that perception of yours that is built up upon illusion and fear. If you are somebody who has a variety of friends from the first category, where people are fearful, but also has a variety of friends from an alternative way of thinking that is away from mainstream news, then you are going to be far more balanced out in one, understanding your friends that are living in fear, family members that are living in fear, but also not being sold into the trap of fear too much, because you have that variety of a different news stream, of a different perception of people who can see what is happening regarding this fear magic. We are now starting to see the rollout of just how powerful these global elitists are, and how planned out this has been, especially in social media, that just like those stores can build up completely different perceptions. One building up a perception of prepare, fear, the other being relaxed and normal and allowing people to get what they need and get out in a friendly, polite manner. We're seeing now that we can see on social media that they are showing their authority, they're flexing their muscles, even censoring the sitting president. That's no accident. It is to show that flex of muscle. It is to start making people behave on social media, start stopping them from making them, the people who weren't in fear, be in fear of posting things up that might get them even more isolated. Because right now social media has become, very cleverly so and very planned so, has become most people's outreach, most people's way of socializing. And we are sociable animals. We need that interaction, and we've been channeled into a position of where social media for the main part is giving us that in great numbers. And so now we can start seeing them flexing their muscles, now that they've become a main resource of interaction between different human beings. Now they can openly flex their muscles and show that we can censor you, we can limit you even more. Where your government has put you on lockdown and literally put you on house arrest, we can isolate that even more. So just like the prison system we see now through social media, we are being warned. We're being warned to be very careful, to not push too many buttons, because then we'll go in, what do they call it? Is it the tank or the hole? The hole. I think when you're in prison, you go in the hole where it's just a dark room, or a dark hole in some prisons, where there is no sensory things, there's no interaction with people. It's enough to send you crazy. It's a torture mechanism. And so we're seeing that they're flexing their muscles even with the sit-in president, which isn't any accident. It is to start remapping your brain into behaving just as the prison warden would remap your brain into behaving. Before they put you in the hole, there is the threat of it. There's the threat of you being even more isolated than you already are in your cell, in your home. And so it's important right now that we do not buy into that fear, that we do keep sharing, and we do prepare different ways of staying in touch with one another, of having interactions with one another, so that we do not build up a perception of the world that they are creating, that they are creating the illusion in order to make the illusion the reality. And that's what's happening right now. So it's important that you find different ways of interacting. On top of which, it is important that you do find comfort in self, that you learn how to explore your inner worlds, that you learn how to meditate and remote view, telepathically communicate, things like that, to really take up your time, and also to use that time for good, to use that isolation for good, to know more of yourself. Because if we had already been doing that in mass, we wouldn't be in this position that we're in right now. But it's important to use what energies you can for good as and when they come up. We are in this position now, so do find time to start exploring self. It will stop you from going crazy, and it will come in real handy in the weeks and months to come. But also, while you still can, gain a wider spectrum of views, of perceptions, of realities, so that you can't be channeled into the illusion of fear before there's anything really fearful to be fearful of, before there's anything there to be fearful of, really, that it is all an illusion. Because once they can trap us into that fear-filled illusion, then through our thoughts becomes our reality. So they actually use and harness our energy. This is chess. They use and harness our energy to then bring in the reality that they've already planned for through our manifestation, through getting us into the right thought pattern, through getting us into saying the right words in order to manifest the reality that they are already planning on manifesting. So I hope that all makes sense. I hope that can be of some use to people. It's something to take real note of. If you have the eyes to see and ears to hear, in the coming months, this will be super important for us all to do. So much appreciated for you listening. If you'd like a personal tarot reading with me, then you can get in touch with me, or any spiritual guidance sessions or any energy work sessions, which are really helpful during this time. You can hit me up at truedivinemedia@gmail.com for all of those, or on my business page on Facebook, truedivine44. Send me a private message there and we can get you hooked up with whatever session you want to go ahead with. Much love, stay balanced and whole. Mwah.